Few things grab people's attention like an exceptional promise. Something you know is impossible, but to your surprise, it actually works. On the other hand, we programmers love simplicity. That code you wrote in the blink of an eye, immediately declaring it old enough and sending it straight to work. That's why when I shared this pair of projects on Scratch, I honestly didn't expect the odyssey my little account was about to receive. And although I've stepped away for now, it felt completely ungrateful not to acknowledge all the reactions it was generating. Lots of surprised faces seeing it work, myself included. A fair share from those it didn't work for at times, followed by one constant, still unresolved question. How does it work? Or maybe not so much since I actually created 2 entire posts explaining it. Which, for better or worse, almost no one saw. And since even I found rereading them confusing and tiresome, well, here we are. I hope we're about to dive into something much better and less painful for everyone. Consider that you can build this with very little material. First, we store the project information in a variable or however many we need for each individual data point. Here, loves, favorites, and views. Using join, we create a title with these new values and store it too. Then comes the question inside the if. Is the current title different from ours? If it's true, we replace it with ours. And finally, we wrap all of this inside a forever loop with a small wait time between cycles, very important. And done, right? Well, not exactly. Since, as you may know, these blocks never actually existed. But liftoff is still possible from somewhere else, literally. Allow me to introduce you to Python. While it might seem a bit intimidating at first glance, I promise it would be the orange-yellow cat's best friend in real life. They're very similar if you squint your eyes and break through the old shell. This is a truly powerful tool used to write everything from the simplest programs to streaming websites to AI and much more. Now, why do we need this? And how are we going to use it? Well, just as Scratch offers extensions that let you interact with your camera and other devices, in Python we have many libraries, among them Scratch Attach. Scratch Attach helps us communicate with Scratch's computers, just like your browser or the app does, allowing us to retrieve and modify information outside of them, which is exactly what we need for our project. This, while very helpful, also adds 2 more layers of complexity we'll have to navigate, though they're fairly simple ones. First, we'll need to log in not through a nice interface, but through code commands, passing our user data as values to the specific function. A good practice is to keep sensitive information in a separate file. This way, we avoid exposing it when sharing with someone else or if it's made public by mistake. Next, we verify that these are correct. This entire section handles that. Only then does the code in our loop proceed with a couple of modifications. The first is a stop condition. We could absolutely program a literal, forever loop, but it's not what I recommend. It's best to give it a specific time frame. And finally, an error handling function, which wraps our logic like an if-else block, and that's where we decide what to do when something fails. Essential so it knows how to recover even when we're not around. Once ready, we execute it. It can run on your personal computer, but if you want it active all the time, the best option is to use a server. Scripts like these are super lightweight and adapt perfectly to any free or paid plan. You have a list of recommended providers on the Scratch Attach wiki, by the way. If you made it this far and feel like you didn't understand a thing, well, you're not alone. Discovering a new programming language and new ways to write code is not easy at all, and concepts like the ones I vaguely tried to explain are things we struggle with immensely the first time around. But you should also know that your interest in these things puts you much closer than most. Scratch is a great starting point, and you don't need anything else to build great things. So don't stop creating, because there's so much more waiting for someone like you and someone like me to discover it. Before I go, I wanted to dedicate a few final words to my friends on Scratch. I won't mention usernames outside the platform, but I will say it's been such a rewarding experience getting to know each and every one of you. You have my infinite gratitude for the feedback, constructive reviews, and kind comments regarding my departure. For now, I need this time, and I hope to come back recharged and full of new energy for you all. See you soon.